thanks for joining us here at Dr. Russ's Air Rifle Adventures. Dr. Paul and I are really happy each time you join us. If you have a passion for air guns like I do, a passion that we're able to shoot 12 months of the year. I got a bunch of powder guns, pistols, shotguns, and they're used primarily in the fall. But air guns, I think my greatest love is that I can shoot them 12 months of the year. We often use this part of our deck as a shooting deck to do different rifle reviews. But this isn't on reviews. Today is continuing to answer the questions, are you a great air gunner? And our message is that you can't be a great air gunner and have some real poor grades, if you will, some D's or E's in other areas of your life. I worked till I was 75 and then I retired. So I've learned a few things. I've got a lot still to learn. But if I can share a few things with you, that'll be good. It'll help you be a better air gunner. Our motto here is to stay safe, to stay sharp, and silent. And we'll try to do all of those things. So if you find some value in the message today, give us a thumbs up. If you have questions, comments, even criticism, leave a comment. I answer them all. Or I find somebody who can. And lastly, if you want to make sure you don't miss any, I mean, we've done 100, and the question is, how many have you seen? And if the answer is less than 100, you probably should subscribe. That way you get notified about 3 times a month on all the videos that we do. In the meantime, you'll see underneath the video a small circular photo of me. That's not what I want you to look at, but if you'll click on it, that'll give you access to our channel, and our channel has actually 99 videos. Today is number 100. I'm going to be hunting today, and that's a little different than target practicing, because you see, when you're target practicing, you focus a lot on what the gun is doing, what's happening at the target, etc. It's pretty focused, especially if you're into competitive shooting. However, when I'm out hunting, you sit for a while and you get to reflect on a whole variety of things. And it's when I'm sitting and hunting that I think about a lot of things along my journey, and I want to share them with you. Today, I'm doing a little bit of hunting with this brand new air gun brand from Turkey. I don't know if you know it, but Turkey makes a lot of gun parts for a lot of American guns, European guns. I think way back they were just into the shotgun business, but today they make all kinds of parts, and they make a lot of different air guns. We often think of Hatson, but they make some others. And this is one that I was not all that familiar with. I think you can see right here, the brand is Nixon. And down here you can see that it was made in Turkey. It's got all kinds of things that I'm interested in learning about. But why do I have it? And I'll tell you why. A man I respect, Donnie Dew, who owns Donnie FL, he and his right-hand person, Izzy, they've got something to do with this gun now, bringing it into the U.S. I'll give you all those details soon when we actually do a review of this gun. And so our question today is, are you a great air gunner? Are you trying to be a great air gunner? Are you trying to be just a great person? Here's a lesson that I've learned in life. I met a lot of smart people, smarter than me. Perhaps you have too. And yet the problem was that they didn't have any delivery system. they didn't have a real way to let that smarts out. It took me a while to figure out that they might be smarter than me. CPAs, lawyers. And so as I was raising our daughters, I thought, you know, I should make it mandatory. They can go into any profession they want, but they will take speech, drama, debate classes, so that not only are we getting the brain smart, but we have this delivery system. If we don't have the delivery system, this is like a vault that gets stored a lot of data and locked up. One class that I even rely on today, because I did this before I made it a law with them, was a debate class. And I'll never forget that first teacher. Somewhere in the middle of the year, she said, okay, we're going to do a debate here, and Mr. Jones, you're going to be for communism. I said, are you kidding me? And somebody else got the choice of for capitalism, democracy, America. I had to do communism. Well, what a task that was. Fortunately, I passed the class even with that debate topic, but it caused me to do a lot of research. I actually found a few good things within communism, and I focused on those, and I also found some weak things. But I think that it helped me in marriage. You see, in marriage, you get in some disagreement, and you can blow up, you can stomp out of the room, you can slam doors. There's always that woman who likes to throw a frying pan or something at you. But that didn't help. That didn't solve the problem. But some things I learned in debate class, I think, have helped me in marriage. So whether you've got school before you or before your kids, or you still have the chance to do some more studies, take a look at speech, drama, debate. They just might help you with this delivery system. You know, the more we know about the future, the better it is to make decisions about today. What do we know about the future? Particularly since the crystal ball is never crystal clear. And yet I've discovered that there is a crystal ball. We should be watching it. We should keep our eye on it. Even if you've never owned a stock in your life. The crystal ball that I'm referring to is the Dow Jones Industrial Average. You see, the Dow is an index of how the stock market's doing. It's a number that's made up of the 30 largest corporations. So you can add up the price of a share of GM and a share of Ford and the other 28 largest companies, and you have what we call the Dow. Now, people that trade on the exchange, they're pretty smart people. And when you see that Dow go down, that's a crystal ball signal. At least to me. I hope it'll become to you. You don't have to own any stocks. But you see, when those 30 stocks, the biggest in America, start to go down, our future doesn't look too good. If they go up, we've got a rosy future. Well, here I am talking in October, the fall of 2022. And I can tell you that the Dow, along with some other indexes, the S&P 500 is the 500 largest stocks. And that would be a huge number. So they add up together and then they have a multiplier on it to make it a smaller number. There's the NASDAQ, which is 100 of the tech companies and smaller companies. But these indexes, let's focus on the Dow. We've sunk to some new lows here in recent weeks. What does that mean? I can tell you what it means to me. It means we've got a recession coming in 2023, about 6 months from now. It's a crystal ball for 6 months, because you see, the smart people find out things 6 months before the rest of us find things. And so this is a time you should be planning on a recession. Watch your spending, cut back. Cars are high priced. Houses have just now started to tip the other way. Let's wait till next year to do the spending. let's stop all spending, if at all possible, now. Boy, this is a beautiful new gun. I'm glad Donnie Doo told me about it. I've put some furniture oil on this stock. I put a little silicone on the scope and the breech and the tank. Makes for a pretty rifle. Soon I'm going to know all about how it shoots, and I'll share that with you. That'll be in a video in the next week or two. Even with a perfect crystal ball, we can get ourselves in some tough times, some tough situations. For example, none of us are perfect, so we make mistakes. Sometimes we're accused of a mistake we didn't even make, but the point is sometimes times are tough. What do I reflect on when times are tough? Well, the Army taught me when the going gets tough, that's when the tough get going. That's a good slogan. Here's another one. 1, 3, 4. I've skipped 2. 1, 3, 4. What do I mean by those 3 numbers when times get tough? Well, we have 1 cross or 3 spikes, and there was 4. 1's forgiven. And I have to think sometimes, hey, I'm a forgiven person. I was forgiven by the guy who hung on that cross with 3 spikes. 1 cross, 3 spikes, and forgiven. And it's something we have to remind ourselves of. It helps us. If we go along in life and all we do is focus on that doggone thing we did 4 years ago, we'll have that little cloud over our heads for a long time. Not me. I'm forgiven. Now let's see if I can share something with you that will help you be a great hunter as you are a great air gunner. First of all, when I'm in the woods, I try not to move very fast at all. Imagine if you went into the woods first and you got still and silent up against a tree or a log or something, and then I enter the woods with the instructions that I've got to keep moving, stalking, watching. It won't take you long to pick up my movement and get me. Well, that's the way animals are. So let's give them a lot of credit, not just for seeing us when we move, but smelling us. So we've got to watch the wind. I've got the wind in my face right now, and that's the way I like to hunt. And I don't like to move if at all possible. Now, because I know they're going to see me. So one of the things I'd like to do is get out there early in the morning and get in my position and stay very still. Now there's an exception to movement. Once I see that big trophy and he takes his eyes off of me, well, that's when I can move and get in a better position to shoot him. That's often the only times I'm moving out there. So be careful of movement. Try not to move if at all possible. Another thing is to be very careful what you carry into the woods. You know, a cushion to sit on, maybe a chair, those sort of things. One of the things I'd like for you to be really careful of, my friend was not, and that was some rattling antlers. Now, I've rattled in some bucks, and I like rattling antlers, but he had them tied to the back of his belt, and he was going through gullies early in the morning to get to his hunting spot. And he fell backwards. And he was punctured a number of times by his own rattling antlers. So think safety. Be real careful what you carry out, and when you're carrying it, where are you carrying it? The third tip I have, and I just picked this up, I haven't even unwrapped it yet, but I've had them before and they're very, very good. When you want to track something wounded, and if it was an afternoon hunt, well, you'll find yourself tracking in the dark. That's a tough one. But there are flashlights that are made just to follow blood. There's a hole in the top of this one, so bear with me for a second. As you can see, there's my white flashlight, and this can be adjusted by turning. A little hard to work with it, still in its plastic, but there's the blue. And there it is with the red beam. And you can do the combination of red and blue, and it kind of becomes a purple. And that special type of lighting helps get that blood off of those leaves. And as you can see from these beautiful fall colors around me right now, it's hard to spot specks of blood on leaves that already have specks of red on them. But this flashlight picks up the blood. I'm also looking for some air bubbles in it. That means I got a good lung shot. He can't be running very fast. So have a good light. In this case, it's a combination light. It's good for tracking, but it's also a light that helps me get out there in the dark and helps get me back in the dark, which is often what we have to do when we're after a trophy. Well, I hope today helped you. If it did, give us a thumbs up. If I've left questions, and I'm sure I have, or you want to leave some criticism or a compliment, put them on that comment section. I'll answer. And thirdly, if you want to make sure you don't miss any of our videos, this is number 100. How many did you miss? Become a subscriber. That'll make the difference. In the meantime, live up to our motto. Stay safe, stay sharp, and stay silent.